We did one sex video, like just for fun.
You never told me about a sex video.
I didn't even know that you existed. And the thing is that
Wait, so Jasmine does have a sex tape with her ex. Didn't she tell Gino that she made that up just to hurt him? Definitely feels like she's hiding something. And I don't exactly think this is gonna make Gino feel any better.
we had so much sex in the past that we got sick and tired of it.
But so gross, and Jasmine. Jasmine, even you saying that is so gross.
That's the reason why I don't want them two together.
Yeah, very uncool, Jasmine. Your man is sitting right next to you. There's just no need. She loves embarrassing him. But before we unpack all of this, let's start at the beginning. So we left Jasmine in the last episode having a temper tantrum. What's new, right? This time, it was outside the US Embassy in Panama. We were told that there was a hold-up with her K1 visa application. But given that she's now here in person in the studio, it turns out, yep, that's right, she's been granted her visa. She's here. The only problem is, none of the other cast realise that Jasmine's in the US. And everyone in the green room seems to have an opinion about her. Not necessarily a good one.
Jasmine is a horrible human. She is the poster child for a toxic partner. Holy cow.
Now, Statler reveals that as someone who's been in toxic relationships herself in the past, watching Jasmine's behaviour has been incredibly triggering for her. She goes as far as to say she's relieved that they won't have to share the same room with Jasmine. Of course, thinking that Jasmine's still in Panama. And that misguided belief continues when Gino walks in all alone. But all is not as it seems, and the cast are about to have the shock of their lives.
Some of us were more on your side of the couple's interactions.
Hi, everyone. I made it to America, bitches.
She's here! I guess Gino really did submit that K1 paperwork after all. Whatever the cause of that delay, well, she's here now. Jasmine has officially been let loose in the States. But she heard what the other cast said about her. So now, before the tell-alls even started, Statler and Misha are both kind of in a position where they've just got to tell her to her face how they feel about her.
Do you recognize that you're toxic?
I don't think anyone's put a label on anyone, but what I have seen, Gino, I'm very worried for you.
Jasmine accuses them of being bullies, but thankfully, she doesn't totally lose her shit. In fact, she seems to actually be exercising self-control over her emotions. She's just been called toxic directly to her face and she hasn't risen to it. That's a first. Perhaps the US has been good for her. Maybe this is a new Jasmine. Yeah, right. So, as the cast are called on stage, Sean turns to Jasmine and brings up her visa hysterics. She asks her what happened, and Jasmine actually looks embarrassed for the way that she handled things.
They say, oh, I'm sorry, we have to postpone. They say, like, it might be something with the system. I wanted an answer.
So it seems that after 18 months of preparing for the interview, her tantrum came from a place of pure disappointment, pure frustration. But there were no issues with the application itself. It really was just an administrative delay, nothing more. So now that she's in the States, Jasmine is all smiles. But there is one thing that's getting to her.
I believe that when God created Michigan, he didn't mean people to live there because it is so cold.
Okay, guys, I'm all for talking about the weather, but this is the tell-all. Let's cut to the good stuff. Enough with all the niceties, Sean. Ask her the questions that we want to know. Chief of which is about a certain handsome Australian ex that happened to live in the same building as her. You know the one that in a fit of rage she claimed she cheated on Gino with and made a sex tape with him. Ring any bells? Well, it turns out that Sean has some unseen footage to share with us. Footage of when Jasmine called Dane to complain about Gino.
No sex, babies. Yeah. Like, I'm as like...
Jazz. You are naughty.
Naughty or inappropriate? Look, we knew that that call took place. We knew that Jasmine had no qualms telling Dane all about her dry sex life with Gino, but we didn't know the extent or the detail that she went to. The fact that she's bringing that up almost feels like she's outwardly flirting with Dane. It feels a bit like a come and get me plea. Please save me from this, Dane. And it just feels so inappropriate. It feels vulgar. And all her fellow castmates are disgusted.
Did you watch that? You were calling him baby? You talk about how bad our sex is to your ex? That's bull. You don't do that.
But K1 visa or no K1 visa, whether she's in America or Panama, Jasmine is still Jasmine. She'll defend her actions to her last breath, regardless of how wrong they are. In fact, she blames Gino. She blames Gino for pushing her to seek affection from another man. And sure, yes, it does take two to tango. Gino was definitely, at that point in the season, not giving her the affection that she wanted, but playing the blame game here. Making Gino out to be the one at fault feels very manipulative. It feels like she's trying to deflect the blame. She's painting herself out to be the victim.
Feeling that rejection of the person that you love over and over again. I needed some validation from a male perspective.
Jasmine's the sort of lady that doesn't like to take accountability. Everything's always someone else's fault. But the truth is, it's about time that she tries to look inward. She really needs to be asking questions about herself. Questions like why she seeks validation so much, and why does she actively seek it out from Dane of all people? Like, given that Dane's such a big issue for their relationship, surely she hasn't seen him again, right? Well, spoiler alert, she has, and she did it without telling Gino.
No, it is goodbye dinner. So no sex, no kiss.
Did you cheat on me
No,
with
we
Dane?
went to a restaurant, we had dinner.
And Jasmine, when was this?
February 14th.
A farewell dinner on Valentine's Day. This is just a joke now. Jasmine's just having a laugh. She's making a laughing stock of Gino. Like, she has a candlelit dinner with her ex on Valentine's Day, and she expects her fiancé to be completely fine with it. Are you kidding me? Jasmine's excuse, yet again failing to take accountability, is she claims she forgot that it was Valentine's Day. She only remembered when she got to the restaurant, apparently. But no one's believing that. Does she really take us all for fools?
Did he get you a gift?
Bouquet of flowers with a note, and that was it.
So a card, flowers, and dinner on Valentine's Day.
Okay, so if it was 100% friendly, like Jasmine's saying, then why did she keep it secret from Gino again? Jasmine's hypocrisy is just unbelievable. Don't forget, she made Gino a promise at the therapy session that she'd cut off all contact with Dane. Yet here she is, backtracking on those promises and expecting Gino to just be okay with it. But it's about time someone calls her out for her hypocrisy. She can't keep getting away with this.
You think he should be okay with that still?
I don't see a problem.
Would you be okay with it if it were reversed?
I don't see a problem with me being friends with them.
No, I have a big problem with it.
Well done, Amanda. That's what we're all thinking. But notice how Jasmine doesn't answer Amanda's question. She conveniently avoids it. Why? Because of course the answer would be no. She'd absolutely flip out if that situation was reversed. But if you think this is bad, well, it gets a whole lot worse. When Jasmine desperately tries to convince everyone that her relationship with Dane isn't sexual, she ends up digging herself a bigger hole.
We had so much sex in the past that we got sick and tired of it.
But so gross, Jasmine. Jasmine, even you saying that is so gross.
That's the reason why I don't want them two together.
Misha is absolutely outraged by Jasmine. And she's right to be. It is gross. It's crass to be talking about that, but it's gross disrespect to Gino. The poor guy's just sat there listening to it all. The way she treats him is disgusting. She has no respect for him. And it's left to Misha to ask why Gino puts up with this. How far is he willing to let this go? When will it all become too much for him?
At what point do you say to yourself, this woman does not care how I feel?
The breaking point is if she cheats on me.
Look at the way Jasmine's just staring at him there, almost daring him to give an answer. But that is his line in the sand. He admits that he'll put up with pretty much everything else, just as long as she doesn't cheat on him, and is convinced that she hasn't cheated on him. What a stupid, naive man. Yeah, sure, she hasn't cheated on you. She literally screamed in his face that she had a sex tape with her ex from a month ago. Come on, Gino, playing ignorant, playing dumb doesn't mean it didn't happen. So let's talk about it. What's the truth?
Do you and Dane have a sex video from 1 month before Gino came to see you?
Now, at the time, Jasmine claimed that she only said that to hurt Gino's feelings. Gino seemed happy to accept that. He didn't want to prod any further, probably for fear of what might come out. But let's be honest, there's no way that she just came up with that on the spur of the moment. It must have stemmed from some kind of truth. There's no smoke without fire. So when Sean asks her directly, do you and Dane have a sex video from 1 month before Gino came to see you? Jasmine is finally forced to tell the truth. There's nowhere that she can hide.
We did one sex video, like just for fun.
You never told me about a sex video.
I didn't even know that you existed. And the thing is that
Right, okay, we're getting somewhere. So there is a sex video, it does exist, but now she's claiming that it was ages before she and Gino were an item. She wants us to believe that in the heat of the fight, in the heat of the moment, she just took liberties with the dates. Do I believe her? I'm not sure. And I'm not the only one. Gino needs a bit more convincing too. And he doesn't just want to rely on her words.
Can I see the sex video?
You want to see
you're sick.
Gino, don't watch that video, dude.
No, I don't want to watch it, but I want to know the date.
Oh, the date.
For a minute there, I thought Gino was cementing his crown as the king of all simps. I mean, given what he's into in the bedroom, it wouldn't really come as a surprise that that's his thing too. But it turns out he wants to watch for timestamps. He doesn't believe her anymore. He's just found out that Jasmine lied to him about Valentine's dinner, so no wonder he needs more evidence. But then, something weird happens when Jasmine's explaining where the video even is.
If I have it in my iCloud, I'm gonna show you with the date.
You got it in the iCloud?
Just
You got it in the cloud?
No. It's a, how do you call it? Memory stick? I don't know.
So is it iCloud or a memory stick? They're very different things, and it's a bit suspicious that Jasmine would mix them up. I mean, that's the sort of thing that you'd know. There shouldn't be much confusion about that. Whichever it is, you'd know and you'd want to keep it safe, wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, it just seems a bit too suspicious for my liking. And as the cast take a break from filming, Gino has some more questions.
Why do you still have the video saved?
I'm gonna delete it. Is that gonna make you happy?
Yeah, can you delete?
I'm gonna delete it.
You can only save the video if you're probably planning to watch it again.
Why has Jasmine still got that video? Why didn't she delete it when her relationship with Dane ended? Well, there's two potential reasons. Either she wants it as a keepsake, as a memory, and we know that she's already admitted she still fantasizes about Dane, so I guess that checks out. Or should I say, maybe she's one day planning on taking a page out of Kim Kardashian's book. Let's be honest, this is all very good publicity for her OnlyFans. All of this, primetime discussion and sneaking it into her storyline with Gino, sneaking it into the story completely unnecessarily, might I add, just serves as great marketing for that tape. But for now, Jasmine is done with this conversation. Instead, she rounds on Gino and turns the spotlight on him.
I can take from everyone telling me, but you were so judgmental and you're acting like you don't know me or like I have cheated on you. I'm always honest to you.
Really? You're always honest, Jasmine? What planet does she live on? She's lied to Gino multiple times about her relationship with Dane. In fact, she was just caught out in a lie when she admitted she saw Dane behind Gino's back. So this whole I'm always honest with you act is just more proof that Jasmine's toxic. She's a gaslighter. She's emotionally abusive. She's trying to undermine Gino, and it's so obvious that Statler calls it out.
As somebody who's been with like a narcissistic abuser, I know that type of behavior, and that's it.
You better start standing by my side.
Jasmine speaks so aggressively to Gino. She domineers over his passive personality. She walks all over him. She bosses him around. She tells him what to do. And in return, she demands loyalty and obedience. So when Gino questions her on set, in her mind, she sees that as disobedience. She sees that as Gino humiliating her, even though that's what she's been doing to Gino all this time. And she doesn't like that one bit.
I'm just gonna be myself, so deal with it.
That's
Deal
great.
with it. We have to try to have a more healthy relationship, but the problem is we don't know how to do it.
Exactly. They don't know how. So why are they both ignoring the warning signs? They've both known for a long time that they don't know how to be healthy with one another, yet they refuse to end their relationship. It's just getting more and more serious. She's here on a K1 visa. They're gonna need to marry within 90 days, less. Frankly, the thought of that is even more terrifying than her tape.